That is a stack over a stack an hour, which is gonna sell for pretty close to 10 million. So you're talking about 10 million units in an hour. Hello everyone, Thranks is here, and welcome back to No Man's Sky, episode 282, where we came back to the Terranautica main manufacturing facility because I had this tremendous array of large refiners here. In fact, you can't even put this many this close together anymore. They're sort of grandfathered in. If at any point I start dismantling them, I won't be able to replace them. So we have this huge array of 10 refiners, 4 down below and 6 up here. And I thought to myself, as I was trying to cram everything into our base over where the activated indium is, that I was just kind of reinventing the wheel. It was easier just to put down a teleporter, base terminus, and teleport here into my processing here, because lo and behold, this base also has all of my storage bays set up. So we did that, and it was a little something like this, just to give you an idea. I don't want to spend a lot of time here, but I thought I would showcase for everyone. This is exactly why we created the manufacturing base here on Terranautica. We've got so much stuff refining all at once. Even the downstairs refiners are running. We're going to make some resources. You can believe that. The answer was here all along. And on that note, we are very processed up. In fact, we have lots of metal plating, overflowing with ferrite dust, even more metal plating, and then we used up a good bit of magnetized ferrite and pure ferrite. Now, this brought to light a few different things that I realized. One is that we went ahead and maxed out our chromatic metals. I didn't see a reason not to. And I don't, or not the pre-chromatic metals. And we're a little low on chromatic metal in that we have less than a whole stack. But with our activated indium mine, yeah, we're going to have all the chromatic metal we want, and then some. But as I was doing this, I realized that I began to cruise through lots of oxygen. And this is after we broke all of the superoxide crystals that we had in the spare stuff storage. Now, let's see, manufactured magic, spare parts. We still have a stack of oxygen, but I broke down everything that was in it and then re-put stuff back in here that we had extras of, and just look at the room. So I'm thinking that we'll put some maybe ferrite dust in here, but not necessarily yet. I want to do our construction first, get everything the way we want it at our economy powerhouse that we're building, and then we'll do that. The other thing I wanted to do while I was here is I've had a couple of people tell me I need to refine hexite in a refiner with condensed carbon. But I think nobody has been more vocal about this than Taz, or at least the name Taz in the Discord. I'm drawing a blank if that's what you're going by in the comments, but I figured we would just do that now. We would knock that out, and oh, it's pretty handy that it's 1-for-1 into gold. That's not bad, really. Now, let's see, condensed carbon. It says it doesn't do anything, so let's try it with regular carbon. Perhaps that's what was meant. Regular carbon also doesn't do anything. So this was mentioned a handful of times that I need to just do this, and it doesn't appear to do anything. So I'm pretty sure whatever that once was, once upon a time, it is definitely not that anymore. So we tried, and that's not a thing, but we tried. Okay, we've got all of our inventory sorted, everything put away, and we're going to get back to what we were doing at the Making It Rain Island base. That's what we want. And we're back at Locust Prime. I've done a little remodeling here. As you can see, we have the base terminus and the teleporter I think, just to keep everything looking nice, we're just going to continue to place windows all around in this structure. I think that is the right call. And as you can see, we still have the teleporter to take us up here, but this area is now pretty much emptied out. There's not much of a reason for it not to be empty. Because as long as we have the base terminus, we can go wherever we want, which means this can just be decorative up here. And we're going to go ahead and decorate this, but not before we put a tremendous amount of time into expanding our economy. So we're going to get to that pretty quick, but before we do, there'd been a lot of discussion in the comments. Actually, it was Silver Cyric talking about how important oxygen was, specifically because you could expand chlorine non-stop to get money, which we're not going to need it for money. But as I was using the oxygen to expand all my ferrite and condensed carbon and all these other resources, I realized something, that we need oxygen in a level that is ridiculous compared to what we used to, because we used to just use an oxygen harvester and be done with it, and it wasn't that big of a deal. Whereas now, that's not enough oxygen. And here we have a C-class concentration of oxygen. I swear I did not know that was going to be the case. I hoped it was. I hoped it was, but I had no idea. So we can also use this base as a location for which to gather oxygen. That's rather exciting. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll get our Nautilon, and we'll get back over here to where our major economy is being set up. But first, we need to head over here and work on this. Because as we've already determined, this can get so much more extensive than it is. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to push this effectively to the limit. And yeah, not look back. There's really no reason to take it slow or to hold back, because we're talking about units, and we're talking about getting them incredibly fast. But more than that, we're talking about setting up a place where anyone can show up to get themselves squared away with units. And in that way, we're going to help everyone out. Anyone with portal glyphs that can get over this way. I don't know where the portal is in this environment, but I can tell you a really quick way to find out the address. Ooh, no, stop. And we're gonna discuss that here in just a moment. Hold on. Oh, it's a little crazy here. Why are you doing this to me? Delete. Okay, we'll connect these at a different location. They can daisy chain their way through. It's perfectly fine. It's not a problem. Oh, crustacean, you startled me. Now from here we'll connect these. Yep. There we go. Oh! That crustacean did startle me. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of the fear. So that row is all active. Now we just need to connect this back row. I'm actually very excited to see what the final numbers on this are. Oh, we're pushing it. We're pushing it to the limit with our oxygen here. Let's go ahead. Let's get this done. Connect. All right. We are currently producing Oh, they're not connected. Yeah, their supply pipes are not connected. Right. Okay. Very good, very good. And now what we need up here is something to connect to this one. So we'll connect you to there. As long as they're all networked together, they should share their production and their storage. Oh my goodness. 10,000 production an hour. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. That is a stack over a stack an hour, which is gonna sell for pretty close to 10 million. So you're talking about 10 million units in an hour. I am still not 100% if that's fast enough, but I think at this point we can safely say that the problem is not our production necessarily, it is our storage. Because if we're producing 10,000 an hour, but we can only hold 17,000, then really we have to come here every, 7 hours to maximize it, and that's just not going to work. Not going to work for me at all. So, let's continue with the supply and see if we can't just get this thing to ridiculous numbers. I mean, I want people to show up here and their early game money woes to just be gone. Now, I guess that's to think about it is to say that people won't have access to this until they get the glyphs. I suppose they could always join in a friend's game that has the glyphs that came here, but then if they did, then their friend would just be able to give them money. But maybe this is good money for their friend too. If we make it impressive enough, like if we really just go nuts with this. I keep saying that. I guess what I mean to say is if we don't hold back, if we take it to ridiculous levels, that's what I mean to say. And I'm not even being as efficient as possible with the spacing. Was that a... Seems like we should just continue making all of this metal plating. These storage containers are what use it up the most. But again, look how much ferrite dust we have. Not a problem. So we'll start with 40. Yeah, okay. Again, we could we could absolutely get these closer together, but I just don't see a point. I think the larger construction centered on the tiles, I think that's... Oh my goodness, we still need 50 of them. Okay, hold on. Let's go throw down a trade terminal. And see where we go from there. I think what we need to do is include a little bit of infrastructure here. Instead of this place being 100% decorative, let's utilize some of this. We won't be able to have our big, nice windows on these flat surfaces, but we can put the windows elsewhere, and so for that reason, I'm inclined to say we'll put a trade terminal here. And yes, 60 metal plates. Thank you. That is such an easier way to do that. And then over here, we will get our refiner, which doesn't need to be on a wall, and so we will leave this window open. And here we shall process all of this runaway mold. 2,000 nanites, give or take. That's pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Now we're going to need to paint these, come up with a color scheme, get some lighting down. We have some things to do still. And I didn't want to delay in this system too much longer. But the truth is we may have to. If I rush this, then we're just not doing it justice. The arrangement of the B-class power, the A-class activated indium, the fact that we have an oxygen, we even have a B-class activated indium not much further away on the other side of the coast, we can turn this into something so substantial. Okay, let's start networking supply pipes together. We have quite a few storage containers that are not being networked properly. Ooh, easy does it with the... What are you doing? What are you doing? How weird that was. It didn't want to... It refused to attach to the side of the pipe. Okay, there we go. This is quite a bit of work. Not terrible. But long term, this is something that, well, let's face it. I was going to say will last us forever, but the truth of the matter is all it takes is a nerf to the amount of money you get for activated indium, and then, you know, poof, who will want to use it? So hopefully they don't do that. Ooh, so now it stores 35,000, which quick math says, well, that's over 30 million units. Still tracking about 10 million units in an hour period, but the storage is just lackluster, to say the least. Lackluster. This is probably a fair arrangement. I don't want to take this any further. I mean, 35,000 activated indium. That's got to be enough, right? Does our greed know any bounds? Is it just always more? Nothing exceeds like excess? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I know that this storage box is going to be done. Now perhaps we're going to have more elsewhere. I reserve the right to throw storage containers down not in the water. We are at least going to have one more over by the structure so that gathering the indium is an easy task that does not require anybody coming down here. And we're going to leave just a little tiny hatch in the ceiling to enter, but other than that, we're going to assume nobody will want to come down here. No, do not delete my storage now, come on. Look at this, see? Who would want to come down into this mess? This is ridiculous. There and right there, and then what we'll do is we'll go back to placing them underneath, right, like this, just so that it looks nice and stable, like it's just one with the terrain, like it has a legitimate foundation. It sinks right down into the silt and the sediment of the seafloor here. Okay, just a few more. Just a few more. Alright, and now what we have is this container here. So let us continue the trend with... Oh my gosh. It's always the oxygen. Always the oxygen. You'd think it's difficult to be underwater or something. There we go. We'll get all of these pieces placed down first. Save ourselves some time. Of course, you know, we can always do things that waste our time too. That's always an option, Francis. There we go. Corner. this is... what did I do? I did 6 by 5, so there's not going to be a perfect symmetrical center. How interesting. So then maybe we'll leave more than just one little space open. Maybe instead what we need is 2 spaces open. Okay. Now I know I placed down a glass panel that didn't... Aha! Found you. Okay, so let's assume somebody will maybe want to enter this at some point. Let's just assume that to be the case. We'll give them 2 little doors and then some window panels. Out of glass, you say? We cannot have enough glass. So we'll put a couple of panels like this, right? Like this. And then the ceiling pantalones? No. And then there you go. Now, if somebody really does want to check out what's going on in here, they can. I feel like we should illuminate it a little bit. I don't want to go nuts, but perhaps... I'm going to stop saying that, actually. It's occurring to me that I'm developing a bit of a problem. I'll say I do not want to become too excessive. See, now I'm going to weigh what I'm saying too much. Of course, none of these lights are going to be lit without cords. And it's going to be virtually impossible to make it symmetrical because it's 6 by 5. No, we can do this. We can do this. I promise. So we can put it right in the middle of 3, and then we can go 1 and 1, and then in the middle of 3, right? And then 1 and 1. Right, and now we just need a couple on the floor. Nice small rotation, let's say here. Like this, and then... Oh my. Let's see. Oh, holding down too many keys. Oof, that's not gonna work. I don't want wiring, I want to delete. No, I don't want wiring. Oh my goodness. How can I get back to deleting? Ugh, it's just, the system is going to perceive that I want to access my wiring at all times. Oh, there it is. Cannot report. I cannot report my own. Oh my goodness. That's pretty epic. Can you imagine if you accidentally reported your own base and then Hello Games was like, yes, you're right, that base is horrible. Deleted. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. You go, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, so we've about got our storage done here. we're just gonna go... Ah, wait. No. I stopped myself. We're just going to place wires like we don't care where they go. Because we don't. Because we're just gonna hide our wires ultimately. Which is an awesome feature because then I don't have to worry about any of this. But we're going to need to attach this wire to this one to another one over here somewhere on this connection. Ooh, wait. Now we should have lights, camera, and action over here. Oh yeah, very nice. Very nice indeed, so people can see where the magic happens. Oh, and it's just... it's going and going. I love it. Love it. Now, what we want is the ability to access that storage from the mainland. So we need to figure out where we ran that supply pipe. Oh, wait. Oh, I see it. There we go. It's right over here. Ooh. So maybe we can... yes. Let's reconnect through the wall like this. And we'll draw this pipe all the way back over to the shore. Boom. Why is my screen shaking? I don't see any ships overhead. That was intimidating. We'll take it right here. And then all we need is one more supply depot right there. One and... oh no! The pipe has to... oh no! The pipe has to connect all the way, or else it's lost. What is that wire connected to? Oh, that's what was... that's what was shaking the screen on us. Go figure. Of course that's what it was. Well, let's delete this and... see, that's the problem with placing the pipe under the surface so it doesn't interfere with anything. Is now I don't know which one is going in and which one is not. Okay, it looks like I left the right one for now. However, not being able to be sure, we'll have to connect this pipe to the storage to really know. And then check its generation. Oof, meaty chunks. Must have been a jellyfish. I can't help but wonder, why is a jellyfish meaty? Yes, we are connected. Okay, well, it's fairly easy to decide what we're going to do with this, and that is blue. All day. Oh no! Oh, careful. Careful. Getting a little bit excited with that control click. That's going to create problems long term. Do you have a blue that is less and more? Right. Cannot apply color, it says, but we can select our material. There we go. Let's try to grab some of this brick action here. Yes. This is nice. It's all sort of a shaded purple. No, not purple. Blue. Blue. Oh, it keeps changing my color as I drift onto other things. I'm not a fan of that. Right, so that's what I want. That's what I want. Okay. Okay, I think we have started to make progress with how I want this to look. Sure, it looks a little rusted, a little odd. We're using concrete here for most of these things, so. This is a fairly good arrangement. I would, however, like this structure. I would, however, like this structure to be red. It's not trying to be loud. Like, hey, here I am, I'm storing all of these resources. No, 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 you access the resources, or you're supposed to, on the land. You can come over here if you really want to look at it, but this should at least try, to blend in with the sea. And since the sea is largely red, we got these red panels and red lights, and that should make it all nice and simple. Oh! Swing and a miss, Thrankses. Swing and a miss. Let's try again. Okay, colors red. Not blue. No, not for this particular project. Now I know, I'm sure at least one person will say, hey, did you know you can set the color when you're placing the pieces? I do actually know that. I just wasn't sure what color I was going to want this to be at the time. Part of me thought that I would want it to be blue, or part of me thought maybe it would just do it as, silver. But in the end, red is where we want to be. Just so that it's all, and I don't know why. I don't know why I thought red. I think I was inspired by the grass and the water. Let's not delete anything now. I'm getting a little click happy trying to apply all this paint at once, and I dare say I'm going to delete something crucial, like a storage tank or a pipe connection, if I'm not careful. Alright, final two, and boom, this is done. Look at that. We got red lights, red canisters. I mean, yes, the wires are still all around, but that's going to be fixed soon. My goodness, time is flying, and And I was really hoping to be done with this fairly quickly, but I do not want to rush our project. If there's something worth doing, it's worth doing right, and I feel like we've spent so much time pushing from system to system. We owe it to ourselves to establish a proper presence here. You know what? Let's... Can I mess with the scale of these lights? So I can mess with the scale of the ceiling lights, but not of the colored lights. What about these lights? I can scale these lights. Okay, let's scale these lights up a bit. In fact, let's go to our build camera here. And let's continue to scale these up. I haven't messed much with the scale of things, but I would like these lights to be tremendous, if I'm just being completely honest. Okay, it looks like that's the tip top of our scale. Cannot build in valid position. Well, let's connect them. And I think we can just go to the wires from here. Right, yes. There we go. Boom. A big old light. I actually like this. I really like messing with this scale. This is fun. And just look at these. They're just... Yes, yes. They're like giant street lights. Oh, this is fun. Yes, we're not leaving. We're not leaving. As much as I was trying to condense my time as much as possible, we have to stay. We have to stay, and even if we don't build a tremendously luxurious base here, it needs to be something worthy of people visiting. And I don't just mean with the money. Because when it comes down to it, money alone might not be a good reason. What we need to do is we need to make sure that our oxygen gathering node is being tapped so people can replenish their vital resource, which makes all other resources possible. Oh no. Those seem a little bit close together. Maybe we don't need quite so many. Ooh, hold on. Give me my building options back. Alright, so let's go to build camera here. And then we're gonna alter the scale again. Please. And in this way, we don't really have a path to where we're going, but we do. We have a path of lights. And one more. Lights. Okay. It just sort of leads you down the countryside, or it leads you up. If you came here from your base terminus, this would be the path up. Now, I don't know where the portal is. I really don't know where the portal is in this system, but I'm about to give you the portal address. Yes, I know it's kind of cheeky, waiting to intentionally give it at the end of the episode, but if you were paying attention, you would have been able to get it a handful of times from now, because the coordinates are always in the bottom left of the screen when you go in the screenshot mode. So anytime you're wondering what the coordinates are for a given planet, if I liked the planet enough to stop and take a photo, you can see them in the bottom left of the screen right here. Cue obligatory post-editing marker. Yep, there you go. And so there you have it. So if you punch in those coordinates, you will find out where the portal is on one of the planets in this system, and you'll be able to come here and start making money. And you won't see it unless you come here, you know, maybe a day or two after you see this video, but you'll at least be able to be a part of this. And I think we're going to paint this all blue and stone as well. And call that where we're going to wrap up this episode. Do we need these teleporters? I don't think we do. In fact, I think our oxygen gathering is going to end up being over here, so we'll just work with that knowledge going forward. And we can't color that, obviously. But there, everything is looking blue and stone and... wait, no, one last one. But that's where we're going to wrap up this episode. Again, we will hopefully be finishing this up soon, but making the determination that we're not going to rush by any means. And we've had our base construction over here limited. But why? The game is punishing us? The game is punishing us. Well then, we'll find a nice, convenient place to hide our wire hiding tool. And we'll just leave that up there as is. Perhaps the oxygen gathering is a bit out of reach. I don't know, but we also need to assess how much power we have left and what we're going to do with this epic observatory. All of that's going to have to be in the next episode. Until then, take care.